Block 11 is called Crossroads to Jericho. In this block, we are using A9, A7, and our background. We'll be sewing the background strips on either side of A9 here, and this to this, and then this to this. We'll also have on A7, we'll be cutting these two squares diagonally in half. So I'm going to make this cut and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, first I'm going to take background strip and sew it to the A9 strip. Then I'm going to take an A9 and sew it to a background square. Press toward the dark. Okay, I'm going to press this. Now this one will be cut in half to match the same size as this one. What we're making is a 9 patch with these. So you can use your scissors if you're confident to do that, or you can use a ruler and rotary cutter. You take one of these, and one of these, and we'll sew those together. And you can pin if you feel you need to or not, depending on what you're comfortable with. Okay, we will press these seams open. For those of you that are new to quilting, I'm going to introduce you to a new tool. It's called a seam roller. They come in all kinds of various different, some have wooden handles, some have plastic like this. You also can get what's called a seam roller at a hardware store that's used for putting wallpaper on. It's the same thing. But anyway, you take it and you roll it on your seams before you press. Saves your fingers over at the ironing board. I'm going to also introduce you to a tool that I use. It's called an Easy Press pen. You can get these on Amazon that are no name brand. This came from Fat Quarter Shop. However, I make my own starch, so I use my starch in these. And I do have a video on making my own starch, so if you're curious about that, you can look that up. It's called Mama's Magic Fabric Conditioner. Mama's Magic Fabric Conditioner. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to use this. It has a felt nub, and it's got the starch in it, and it works like a felt tip marker. You press it and it puts a little bit of starch just on the seams. And I do this so that I don't stretch the seams. Some people just drag it across, but I do the up and down. And I give it a little extra at the junctions of the seam. Now I'm going to take it over to the iron. And I'm just going to lay it flat down on there. And look how flat and pretty those seams are. Then I turn it over and I give it a good press. This is a bottle of my starch. I put lavender scent in it because I like lavender. Okay, there's that part. Now our next step is we're going to sew these to these like this, and this will complete our block. I'm going to give these a quick press because they've got a little wrinkled in the bag. Okay. I'm going to do the top and bottom first. It doesn't matter, you can do the sides first, but just do opposite. So fold this in half and give it just a little crease. Fold this in half and give it a little crease. And you're going to match the creases up. If you folded this one wrong sides together to make the crease, and this one right sides together to make your crease, then you just fit your creases inside of each other. And you pop a pin in there. I showed this in a previous video, but I'm going to show it in here. I put my pins in from here and go up like this, because when I'm sewing I don't have to remove the pin this way. I just slide it past the 1/4 inch part and it stays in place and it holds my piece in place. If you feel like you need to, you can put a pin at each end. You're going to have just a little bit hang over. Now we're going to sew this. Well, all of that, and my machine won't sew without the light on. So you can't see what I'm doing. I don't know if I can enhance it when I edit or not. But anyway, when I get to the pin, I just slip it forward. Then I can pull my pins. Okay, I'm going to move my camera back because it's sitting on my lap and I'm having to reach around it to sew. just push out, press out toward the, I'm not going to do the pressing until I get all of them on, or these two. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did with the other. Another visual is you'll be going into the center of your center square, and these two will cross over each other. If I wasn't doing a tutorial, I would have pinned both of these and sewn them at the same time, and then I would press it and then pin these. I'll do that on these two. What I do with my pins. I am trying out a new thread, which I already know I don't like, but as the cost of thread, I have to keep using it until I use it up. I don't think it's the thread that's the problem. It's my machine doesn't like it, and it comes unthreaded all the time. And this particular machine doesn't have a thread, an automatic threader, so I'm rethreading all the time. But my favorite thread, they quit selling in the color that I like, and so I've been trying. I like the dove gray or the light gray because it blends well with light and dark, and okay, when we sew these on, they're going to cross over these, and it'll be in a line, and all we'll have to do is a little bit of trimming. So let me go press these real quick. You have to be really careful because this is on the diagonal and it will stretch. So be careful when you're sewing and when you're pressing. See how nice and flat? I know you can't see very well, but that's nice and flat on both sides and there. Okay, now we're going to, I don't normally do this part because I eyeball it in the center, but for the new people that are just learning how, I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that I know. These corners right here, these are called dog ears. They should match up, which these do. I can press on my, okay, so find my crease here, find my crease here, now I'm in the center. Pop my pin in. My friend Donnell's son makes 3D printing stuff, and they made me this honey pot. I knocked it off of the table one day and broke one of the antennas and a tip of the wing, and then the very next day I knocked it off again and knocked off the other antenna and part of the wing, and this wing is very loose. I'm trying to keep it, but I can't find the parts. I was gonna try to super glue them back on, but I can't find them, so when I get the money I'll see if they'll make me another one. I'm gonna put some of this this stuff, I don't know, shelf liner stuff, on the bottom of it so it doesn't slide around on my slick surface here. Okay, like I said, I was going to show you how I do both sides at one time so that I can see my fold there and I can see my fold here and match them up. I can also see that these match there. Put my pin in. Okay. And there's our block. I will press that and trim it, and then I'll be back to show it to you. Okay, this is the road to Jericho. It's a very attractive block. Well, that's it for today. So I'm going to say, be blessed, less stressed, and pet some fabric today. See you later.